What is up, guys? This is your boy Sean Flack 2.0 coming at you with another episode of the Dad's Life Podcast. We're here live on twitch.tv/Sean Flack. We'll be recording here live. Go ahead and give us a follow if you are new to Twitch. Go ahead and hit the link that will be in the description below and hit that heart button for get notifications when we go live on Twitch. Other than that, you're going to be finding us here on Anchor.fm. You'll be finding us either there or Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or Spotify. So welcome back. The Dad's Life Podcast has been on hiatus for close to 5 months. And again, due to pandemic, due to a big move and change in the family, things had to get put on hiatus. So we do appreciate your continued support as we make these transitions. And now we're finally back in the studio. So I'm excited to be back here again, doing these recordings for you guys. And again, I always appreciate folks that are coming through. So we're going to do an episode called Just Do the Dishes, something that kind of hit me as like all this stuff is going on. It definitely talks about mental health and things like that. Before we get into today's topic, I want to give you guys a quick update. We did move into another house. So in the new house, I do have my own space to set up for the studio stuff. So if you guys want to join me on Twitch, I'm trying to get a good stream schedule set up. But unfortunately, with everything going on, it's been hard to set up a good solid schedule. So again, if you guys head over to twitch.tv/Sean Flack, go ahead and hit that heart button. Whenever I go live, you'll get notifications for it. And that's for the show and also when I do go live. We'll be doing a lot of tutorials and things like that, sharing a lot of information about the studio and the setup. And for any new streamer or anything like that, I'm open to any questions, comments, or emotional outbursts, because a lot of the content we'll be talking about that. Going into that, over the past, within the past month, or actually the last couple months, I joined up with a stream team. We've been through a couple transitions. Currently, we are the Shadow Pack Gaming, and you'll find us here on Twitch. You'll find us on Twitter. You'll find us on Facebook. I'll make sure I get all those links linked in the description below. It's a great group of people. Shadow Pack Gaming represents a network of streamers from around the globe, and with the sole intent of providing you guys, the viewer, with the highest quality of streaming content. We have streamers that stream everything. So, me personally, you guys know what I stream. I'm the Dad Life. So I'm going to be talking about parenting. I'm going to be doing talk shows like this, doing interviews with different streamers. So you'll see that pop up on mine. We also got our COD. We got our Rogue Company. We got WoW. We got Ark. We got other variety streamers, people that are, streaming Dragon Age. A lot of community streamers, a lot of great people that would love to make connections with you guys. And in my part on the team, I'm helping people make those connections. So again, I do hope you guys join us and follow us on all those different social medias to kind of support myself and support the team as an all. So again, I'm really excited about my new role with that. Again, we did move. As far as like COVID and all that stuff, the jobs has been slowing down a little bit. But like I said, I'm blessed to be employed, so I'll say that amongst everything. But getting into today's topic, I'm going to be talking about, as I always try to touch up, is mental health. And the big thing is, specifically on my channel, I try to stress mental health for men because there aren't that many groups or there aren't that many serious, safe spaces where we could talk about mental health as being a man. So just something that I, experienced myself this past week that I want to share with you guys and kind of like what I do to get through it. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about just doing the dishes. So if you guys don't know me personally, I'm going to share a couple small things about myself. When I was in high school, I spent about a year and a half in Reno. And I was living with my uncle. And that was probably like the best time and the worst time of my life as well. And as I look back on it, I could easily say that at the time I kind of didn't know any better, but then I found that I've learned certain coping mechanisms that I was forced to learn when I was living there. So I did have a great aunt. My aunt was great, but my uncle, he was just not that great. So what I want to share is, I met some of my best friends there. You know, there were still best friends for life. You know, I owe those guys a lot. I potentially owe those guys my life, because it was very stressful to live up there. You know, the expectation was to come home, you know, um, watch the kid, basically be a babysitter, do my homework, be a babysitter, and that's it. And then I had to do the dishes every night. I didn't understand why I was up there, and another that'll be another story for another time for another episode. But it was, as I look back at it, it was very depressing. So, um, like I said, if that was the worst time of my life that I could remember. But then I met my best friend DJ, and then through him I met some lifelong friends that impacted my life for the positive, changed my outlook on life in general, and like I said, those group of guys up there potentially saved my life. So I'd have to say, it was a stressful time for me, and one of the things that I felt I had control over was the dishes. So I would do the dishes, and that was like my world. Like that was my get down. So even as an adult, I do wash really good dishes, and obviously it was something I could do to take my mind off what was going on. And again, I had control of that. And as an adult, I find that when I feel like I'm gonna lose control, or I am feeling a certain way, that I could actually do the dishes or clean or repair something or whatever and feel calmed, or like feel calming. And I know, and again, I'm not like a psychiatrist or anything like that, but I know they talk about, when you're having like anxiety or anxiety attack or anything like that, you're feeling super stressed, that you like touch something, or you know you you think about something that you have control over to bring calmness back to you. And like I said, I kind of had a little episode where I've been working a lot lately, and even though the job has slowed down, I've been blessed with still being able to get to work, and just had a long day. And I commute to work, so I'm in commute traffic for at least an hour each way, so 2 hours commuting. Some days I'm working 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, depending on what's going on at work. Um, so like I said, I really had a really stressful day, and then like being the man of the house, being the provider, coming home and having to deal with that aspect after a really long day and a really bad commute, it really gets to you, right? And like I said, the kids are being the kids, so you really can't blame them for doing what they're doing. But I mean, it was just a hard day. So what I found is I just start cleaning. I kind of like shut down as far as like wanting to speak or communicate about what's going on at the moment. And I put my energy into something I feel I can control, and something that I get quantifiable results about. And somebody had told me about that. When you put in effort and you get instant satisfaction, you feel, I wouldn't say euphoric, but you get a certain feeling about how and what you're doing. And so, like I said, it was a real stressful day, and I felt like I was gonna snap. Like I said, snap at the wife or snap at the kids, and they don't deserve that treatment, especially if they don't know what's going on with me. So, I have to reserve myself and kind of put myself in a mode of productivity and try to get stuff done. Needless to say, not only did I do the dishes, but I also had installed some stuff like um, uh, some lock stuff for the doors, the front and the side door, and I put a door stop in, and like I said, organized the garage more, and like I said, I did a lot, and I felt good after the fact. It really calmed me down, and then I felt like I would share that with you guys. If you guys are out here, with dealing with the pandemic, dealing with that responsibility of being the provider of the house, or being one of the providers of the house. And moms, I'm talking about you too. Like I said, it's about that parent life. I do like to express myself in the dad perspective, so that like I said, dads have a safe place to come talk about this stuff. But I express this to share with you guys that, what, I know it's tough, and I know it's not easy to do what you do. And you most likely, more than anything, you'll be underappreciated, and you may feel that way, you know. And some of the times, yes, you want to like reach out and you want to express that to your significant other. Your kids will never understand that until they have their own kids. So right now, if you're feeling it, you're not going to get any solace from them or any pity from them because they just don't understand it. They're just being kids. But you could express that to your significant other, and you could, hey, this is what I'm feeling right now, and it may be a passing thing, but I was talking to a friend of mine. He said he was having some issues, just regular old stuff. And I do that quote you see on Facebook or you see on the internet, and it's like the problem with being strong is nobody asks if you're okay. And the fact that you're always strong, and that your job is to be strong, because if you're weak, then the whole house gonna fall apart, or your whole world's gonna fall apart, or whatever if you show weakness. But I'm here to tell you that what is normal. It's normal to at times feel that way. And yes, it is okay to have those certain feelings of, I'm tired, I'm irritated, I'm about to snap, you know, that's normal. But how we react to it is what we have control over. Don't feed into that beast of like, oh, I'm about to just break somebody's neck, or you know what I'm saying. You don't do that. Find something productive. And even if at the time, like, you really have to pull yourself away from, and I know as streamers, obviously you're on here watching, you're probably a streamer yourself, or, you'll probably play video games or whatever the case is. If you're watching this on twitch.tv/Sean Flack, or if you're listening to the podcast, you're probably a commuter. You're probably the dad that's, commuting, listening to this in the car. But, like I said, my advice and what I'm sharing with you guys is, through the trauma, as I look back, and trauma might be a little over the top because, again, I didn't realize what it was at the time, but I know that I picked up some habits and coping mechanisms because I went through that, because it was traumatic. But, so I do the dishes. Some people, you know, make it productive. If you got to mop the floors, build something you weren't supposed to build, clean something. And the reason why I'm going with this versus like, oh, go play a video game, go, to the golf range or something like that, or go driving or whatever, is because I want you to do something that's productive. So when you put your energy or your frustrated energy into it, you've converted that frustrated energy into something that's productive, and something that is, quantifiable, and something that is, like I said, something that you're proud of, and you probably took weeks away from doing, and now you've turned that negative energy into something that you wanted to do, or something like that. If you wanted to start content creating, or you wanted to, have that out, turn that energy that is negative, and, turn it into something that's positive. And productive. Don't feel like when you get done with the task, you felt like you wasted your time. So, as dads, sit there and take the time for yourself. Make sure that, you're you're taking care of your self-care. And I always try to express this to my friends and my fellow fathers and my brothers, and even my wife. Self-care is not selfish. Always being strong, you can't always be strong. And, it's okay for you to feel a certain way and to express that and to turn that energy. And the advice I'm giving you is to turn that negative energy into something positive, um, and something quantifiable, and something that's productive, so that when you look at it, you could easily say, and you can make it a habit as to say that I am turning something from a positive to a negative, or from a negative to a positive. So that's basically what I wanted to share, and that's why I wanted to call Just Do the Dishes, because that's my coping mechanism. You know, I would like to know if you guys think this advice was useful, or what are your coping mechanisms that you use, or any advice that you'd give any of the few other listeners or viewers. What would you do, or what coping mechanisms do you utilize when feeling like you're a little on the edge? So anyway, like I said, this one was gonna be a quick stream. I wanted to make sure that I got the update to you guys, and kind of how I was feeling, in the moment, and how I wanted to share that with you. because it is hard right now, because all around we can't go out like we normally would and do the things that we normally would do for, to cope. So, I figured I'd share something that I would do and the reasoning why I do it, because some people are like, why the hell are you cleaning? And again, it's the whole thing for me is knowing that I'm taking this anxious negative energy and turning it into something that's positive and productive. So I hope you guys find this information useful. You got any questions, comments, or emotional outbursts, you can hit me up on Twitter. That's at Sean Flack. Or again, if you are catching this on the podcast or on the YouTube, I do stream. I'm trying to get a solid stream schedule in, but I'm at least trying to get in once or twice a week. Also, stay tuned for our Fat Guy Fitness stuff that I'm going to be working on here shortly. And that's basically it. So anyway, that's going to conclude this episode of season 3, episode 3 of the Dad's Life podcast. Again, we were on hiatus for 5 months, and I do appreciate you guys for your continued support. If there's anything I could do, if you want to sit here and chop it up about being a parent or being a dad, or what issues you may have with the family, we may be able to exchange best practices, and like I said, help each other out. And that's what the Dad's Life podcast is all about. Anyway, follow me on all the socials. Again, I'll have all the information linked down below. And until the next episode, we'll talk to you later. Peace.